This is the eye of the hand. The eye sees everything. Well, got a few issues I want to address. That's why I'm going to give it to you straight up without a chaser. There may be some of you who may not like it, but tough titty said the kitty. Anyways, let's get straight to the point. There's a lot of deceiving going on with this, and I think it's set up for just a distraction, but this Elon Musk and this SpaceX thing, I think, is just a distraction. That's all it is from the Real Topics. They got people posting fake videos, remakes with different shit in the background happening. And basically what's going on is they got you stuck in the past trying to figure out something, and you're making stories of something that's already happened and done. And they're doing something else now that everybody's focused on that. Now they got this supposed poisoning of Trump's kid or whatever, or wife of the kid. This is all it is a bunch of propaganda to suck you in to a Matrix style soap opera in real life. That's what the people were talking about the Matrix. You're sucked into the media and all these drama stories that they do, and the video games, the computers, that you're in the Matrix. You're literally in the Matrix in real life, because you're oblivious to what's going on. Everybody is. There's a handful of people, and I don't know if anybody understands, but there's only like a handful of people that were chosen to do the jobs that are being done on the internet, on YouTube. When you got all those YouTubers working very, very hard to try to bring you the truth about the Planet X system, and you got them talking about the chemtrails and this artificial intelligence. See, everybody is unique in their own way. And I give them lots of credit because they put in a lot of effort in their videos. 100% more than I put into mine. The only thing I'm worried about is just getting out the truth. And that's what they're worried about. And it's about uniting the information that you have and figuring out the overall sum. What's the bigger picture? What's the connection between all of these? How can they all benefit? Well, it's very simple. I mean, come on. You got Trump doing away with this food stamp thing, supposedly. I don't know how true it is. I still got to investigate it. But from what I'm understanding, and a little bit that I've learned already, yeah, to save money, they want to start sending out boxes to food stamp recipients, welfare recipients. Well, they're going to change everything in a big way. Okay? Everything's transferring over to digital now, so it's like, but I don't think people get it, you know. And I just want to touch on something else. This flu thing, now that the light can kill the flu, this blue light thing, it can kill the bacteria in the air. Interesting. Still got to do more research on that yet. The airports that are starting to require you to show all your information, your vaccines and your health records, so you could travel. Seems to me like they're taking control now. They're cramping down on something that they know that you knew was a privilege, and they got everybody used to flying. And now they want to put laws and restrictions on it to where you, if you want to fly, now have to, because of Donald Trump's bullshit with security and immigration, have to provide your information along with a facial scan and all this other bullshit. And they want you to transfer over. Slowly but surely, the system is integrating the digital age into ours. Surely everybody caught the hint when The Economist magazine from 1988 exposed the cryptocurrency before the internet was even heard of or used by us anyway. and they put a date on it. They put the letters TEA, which I already showed. It's an algorithm. It's all to do with digital. They predict the. It wasn't predicted. It was forecasted and told to each other back then that this is what they want to happen by this time, and they made it happen. So you got this cryptocurrencies that are building up. Of course, they're playing the stage to make it look like they don't know if they're going to survive or not, but they're going to dominate. People are already transferring over. And in order to use this, you got to have your face scanned or the chip in your hand. Now they got these cars where you could walk up and you grab the door handle and it unlocks your car because it knows it's you. I mean, you know, their ultimate goal is for when that chip is put in you, you don't realize it, but your skin grows to that thing. And once it grows to that thing has a trigger mechanism. They can shut you off. They can destroy you, turn you off, literally. No money, no nothing, if you don't go with what they say. And that is what you call entering the beast system. None will buy, trade, or sell without the mark on or in the hand, on or in the face. It's quite simple. Some of the states are getting the chip. Some of the states are doing facial recognition. That's one of Trump's last two agendas that he has before everything he puts in place is locked in place. Biometric Identification Entry and Exit Act, which logs you in and out of every city as you come and go. It'll keep count of its citizens. If you're a criminal and you walk out of the house after 10 years of not doing so, it'll follow you, it'll alert the police, and they'll be right there. Your chip, on the other hand, that'll be linked to all hospital records and databases, live time. We'll have your pulse in the computer. If they sense anything go wrong, they will come to you or they will call you. You will no longer go to hospitals unless it's necessary. This is the age of toning down traffic and gas and emissions. The less distance somebody has to travel, the less money they have to spend. The better it is for them and the ecosystem. That's number one. We're talking about paying all your bills with your chip. But let's just get off that topic. These earthquakes are getting out of hand, and now that it's been reported that a CME is forecasted to hit the Earth from the coronal mass ejection, they say it's going to be a bad one. Tonight and tomorrow we'll feel effects. So pay attention to the earthquake charts. You're going to see some activity that you would not like to see. I'm going to tell you that much right now. This is a period that you don't want to live in. You don't even want to be alive during these times. For those of us that will be, there's certain things we got to know for survival. Because it's either you're going into the system or you're not. And I read a verse the other day that struck a nerve to this situation of what they said today. I actually read the verse ahead of time. It says that the sun would scorch the people of the earth. That tells me some things. But in my one video I did, I focused on the trumpets in the Bible. And I focused on a certain aspect, two different points of views. Because it said, as above, so below, on earth as it is in heaven. So if there's a war in heaven, according to the Bible, and they're cast down, and Lucifer loses and he's cast down, there's going to be a war on earth. Jackson, my brother. Jackson. Good timing, brother. You've reached the point of immortality, my friend. Oh, Jackson, yeah, Jackson, he's all right. He's good. He's all right. He's home. He's doing really good. He needed a big break from this because he was overloaded. How you doing, Nolan? Well, I'm glad you joined. See, we got some serious issues going on right now as we're speaking. I don't think people have informed people too much of what's going on. As above, so below theory applies to a lot of things. Now, when it comes to the Bible, oh, I never went. Still wanted. They still want me. Yeah, I'm still wanted. Believe it. And they're not going to get me because I don't plan on leaving. I don't plan on going out of the walls that I'm in. I'm not leaving my post like God says. Do not abandon your post until it's time. It's not going to be much longer before we get hit with this electrical fucking blowout shit from our sun or from whatever they're doing with the weather patterns, manipulating it with their electrodes in the skies. But they're using the chemtrails for a number of things. They're using it for a number of things. They know our sun is dying, so we got sun simulators up there to keep everything in check, but that's not really working out too fucking well for them. Because as you see, everything's freezing out. But when the sun does power back up, it's going to melt everything. It's going to scorch everything on the earth. And it's going to be like those in the days of Noah. Like, key words. It's going to be like the days of Noah in the coming of the days of the Son of Man. You know, God, Jesus. So, it's like. So, it'll flood. It will eventually. But we're going through the cracking of the earth's crust under the oceans, on the land, the waking up of the volcanoes. As things get worse with the sun, they'll get worse here. There is something affecting the sun, and I did break down the Bible in two different ways. It's speaking heavenly bodies, one. And then it's speaking of entities in those heavenly bodies. And I prove it by smashing all the pieces that belong back in their correct order from Ezekiel, Matthew, John, Isaiah, where it all talks about the stars, the sun, the moon, and they all have a connection. If you look up every verse that involves the sun, the moon, you'll get a ton of them. But it's on you to determine what sounds right with this, because there's a lot of verses in the Bible that are all this long paragraph, but they don't make no fucking sense after a certain point. It's because they're in different parts of the Bible. All right, like the visions of Daniel, the coming of the Christ, the end is near. All these pieces got to be. All these pieces you got to take like one paragraph out of each piece that match up with each other, and you got to continue to do that on different stories and events that are happening. And what you're doing is you're creating a timeline, and the things that you know are happening now, you can mark on the timeline the dates of what's going on now, but you have to fill in the gaps. The gaps have to be filled in. So how do we do that? When it talks about the earth, we'll see all these great signs. Well, what are these? Can they be described in the Bible? And yes, they can. They are described where, when, and how. And the meaning of the stars, who makes the bear, Orion and the Pleiadians, and the how about solar eclipse tonight, tomorrow? What do you mean solar eclipse tonight, tomorrow? I don't understand. I didn't hear about that. I've been trying to take it easy because I finally realized that when you hit a certain point in knowledge and you know enough, you don't really need to tell anybody anymore because you know whether or not they're going to listen or not. It's on you to tell them because you want to tell them, but these things that are going to happen now, I put Planet X into theory with that September 23rd thing in the Bible. All right, I put picture with verse and the explanation and the year that it happened. And it comes out perfect. It lines right up. I mean, word for word, verbatim, all the things that I've done. And I also show the fall of Lucifer, which is these demons that fly around in the space. And the trumpet is a weapon because they said the trumpet was sounded and something like a great mountain was cast, something like, key words again, like, something like a great mountain burning like glowing metal. Like glowing metal. Well, if you go back to Ezekiel from Revelations, and you go back to Ezekiel from Revelations, and you look up where it talks about it was coming in out of the north as a windstorm with great lightning and thunder, and it had like what appeared to be like glowing metal inside of the flames of the clouds. Well, I pulled up the picture of these events that's happened, and I put them with all the Bible verses. And I've been working very hard on it, and I'm getting ready to transfer a good majority of my work over. And now there's going to be like 3 or 4 different versions. They're timelines. And one's about Planet X and the celestial bodies, on how as it passed by a certain part, it flung the third part of the stars to the earth. Well, it went through the meteor belt, and it obviously whacked a few of the meteors towards us. And well, we will get hit with it, because later on down the road, when I go into some other verses about the visions, it said what it looked like and where it was. So the Bible does tell you when, where, how, and why. And it's all in Jesus' words. Just have to know where to find it. And that's the problem. People fell out of touch with that because there's so many distractions in the world now that you're basically living in a fucking real world matrix with TV. People are acting out rap songs. You know, you rap about drugs, they go out and sell drugs. And then they rap about it afterwards. And then they get caught for it because they're telling on themselves in the music videos. I'll stay with that gun. I'll stay with that gun. So now the cops know to look for you with a gun. See, they've done that so that way people would tell on themselves. And this YouTube shit is how they keep track of the conspiracy theorists that are telling the truth tellers, and they're naming them and they're putting them in a database. We're all labeled. We're all labeled as enemies of the system, not the state, the system. So when the time comes, they'll know who is where, because they know where the broadcasts come from. So they don't have to worry about searching for you. But I'll tell you what, when you see shit hit the fan, because Suspicious Observers is talking about our Earth's magnetic fields, our pole shift is getting ready to happen. They're weakening as we're talking. And the problem with that is when it speaks in the Bible that the oceans will roar from pole to pole. Well, I understand what it means. It doesn't mean the Earth is actually going to flip. It means when the point from A to B, to changeover, when it stands still and the Earth slows its rotation to a stop and then starts to spin the other way, that's your reversal of the poles. So when it comes to a stop, it starts spinning the other ways. Yes, the oceans will roar from pole to pole, because it's going to be sudden. When that Planet X comes by, it's going to whip around, and it's going to kind of whip the Earth into another reverse spin back to its normal way, so they say. And this has been told throughout the generations of the Bible. If you piece it together right, it tells you each civilization's destruction. But a couple survived, like the Nephilim did, like the giants supposedly did after the flood. The flood was to wipe them out, and they didn't get wiped out. They obviously, Putin over there in Russia is having a hard time defending himself over there, seeing as how he just lost his top scientist in a plane crash. All of his top scientists, all from around his country, the leading top scientists, the smartest. He lost them all, and some other people. Because these people want to call them Anunnaki. Let's just call them humans. Because that's exactly what they are, just a larger version with better technology. And they've been hidden for forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. All right? It's very difficult to explain just speaking about it and not showing it. That's why one day my dream is to, before it's too late, give a seminar here in the near future within this new year. I'd like to give a personal seminar, a free one too, where I show what I'm talking about better than I can tell you, and bring understanding to people's minds that this is not a joke anymore. We're getting ready to go through a whole bunch of shit all at once. As you see with the weather, the sun, there's a connection. And the connection is with the heavenly bodies. When God talks about the heavens and the heavenly bodies, he tells you where this red dragon comes from and where it goes to and where it's coming back again or whatever. He tells you its movements in great fine detail. Now, there is life within inside of its little solar system or whatever you call it. It's got its own life forms, and well, it's just getting a little too difficult to go too deep into it. I don't want to go too deep into it, but let's get back on the Russia thing with these Nephilim, these Anunnaki. They are all the same thing. Just each generation, each civilization that's died off called it something different. Now, instead of the world leaders saying, all right, listen, how about so let's just think about this. We're not stupid. We know that there's other life on this planet with us, intelligent life. And we know for a fact that the human race wants to keep that subdued. They want to keep it locked away, the information. They don't want it getting out. But it's going to be too late because a part of their weather program, because it serves multiple purposes, and one of those purposes is for war. And exposing what's there amongst the clouds or in the clouds or just in the sky, period, whatever may be there that's cloaked, they're exposing. Our government's exposing what's there, the images. That's why people are starting to get some strange fucking shapes. All right? These beings are real. And they're very harmful. So, but there's two types. There's two types. There's the good ones and there's bad ones. Now, the good ones have always been here. If they wanted us dead, we would have been dead a long time ago. But they're altering the planet so they can come down here and help us fight the rest of the war once they cast them out of space down here and they crash land. Of course these motherfucking things are going to take over the planet. But these things that are out there can't come down here and help us in war because they can't breathe our air. So they've got to alter it a little bit. It's common sense. They got to pollute the air a little bit. Yeah, some of us are dying, but it's in the end that it tells you that basically a house in heaven not made by human hands will come down and join with the earth. There'll be 12 gateways that none will pass through unless they're pure of heart. And it'll be a new heaven and a new earth. For first earth's oceans completely dried away. Well, why do you think they dried away? Because if the sun is spewing into us radiation, it makes sense that the Earth's core is heating up, and that the volcanoes and the earthquakes the volcanoes are heating up, causing gaseous pressure, which is causing the earthquakes in a domino effect. And the gases that are going up into the atmosphere from being released are causing all the worst storms that you've ever seen. It's not that hard to understand. It's fucking fairly simple, and I don't understand why the rest of the people don't see it. Now, the chemtrails also serve as another purpose for the weather. They can make it cold wherever they want. So, and they say that they can't do it. Yeah, but they can't do it unless everybody's together on it. So they have to do it around the world at the same time. This is what's going to create the New World Order. The One World Order, excuse me. The New World Order has existed for 70 years. The One World Order is going to be made to where everybody that's involved in this has to keep that piece of weather in place in their skies, along with the rest of the world in sequence. That's the singularity. If they do not do so, and they're going to use the AI to control that. If they do not do so, this is why one cannot pull out. That's why everybody has to stay in as a one world order, cannot collapse. Because when they all come in, if one falls out, the whole system falls apart. And then the sky it doesn't do its purpose, and then you can see everything that's there. See, they're hiding things in our sky. That's number one. They're hiding planetary bodies. They're hiding the meteors that are streaking through with the chemtrails. They're controlling our weather. They're using it for war as well. But it would make sense that they would use the weather to cool the earth. To cool the earth. To try to keep the core cool. It would make sense to do that. You know? And I also found a piece in the Bible where it talks about the cold from the north meets the storm from the south, and ice will be spread out as far as and vast as the eye can see. Well, what happened along the northeast, man? In the United States, didn't they come together and then there was ice as far as the eye could see on the oceans? And isn't the Bible talking about the waters drying up and receding, and they're doing so? If you go and you look on these other channels, they report it. I mean, record-breaking hail. Did you see the one video where the guy bends down and picks something up, and in the background, this big-ass fucking boulder of ice falls out of the sky, smashes down? God mentions that, too, that they would weigh up to 100 pounds, enough to crush a man. Falling at that heaviness, I would say so, especially being that big. We're dealing with life-altering effects, and when God says overnight, like a thief in the night, he applies that to every situation as well, because these things are going to happen in an overnight sequence. Like when I took that Economist magazine, I got curious. 1988 predicted Bitcoin, crypto digital currency? What? I says, I don't understand why the Phoenix is standing on top of the paper money and it's on fire, though. I says, I got to figure this out. And what's that coin? Okay, so that's the Bitcoin. It's common sense. We see it all the time now. But the TEA, what's that mean? So I looked it up, and it stands for an algorithm-based system. And I looked up the symbol that looks like a sideways Saturn, and it's got a name, a German name. It's like Uberstank something, Malaki, and it means overnight or overnight stay. So, is cryptocurrency going to be the year or not? Well, I'm divided on that, because the word of the symbol that's on the coin basically is representing overnight stay, as in going to a hotel, renting a room, and staying overnight and leaving in the morning. So it's not going to be around. It's not going to stick. But it is, because you got the rise of the Phoenix in the background, and I've got the definition of that too on my Facebook and YouTube video, and on my website that I have now. Fucking awesome, killer website. It's probably the best one you'll ever fucking get on the internet. I'll tell you that right now. Right now, it incorporates D-Wave, CERN, artificial intelligence, Planet X, fake news, everything you need to know about the major situations going on, whatever you're interested in. Photographs, everything's there. It can be found at the OpenEye system. All you have to do is go to my Facebook page, Justin Kwiatkowski. So all you gotta do is look that up. JUSTIN KWIATKOWSKI. Look up that Facebook name. You'll come up with two of them. One should have an image of me in a tank top. One should have an image of the earth. One on fire and one frozen, and it should say the end. If you go into, they're both different pages, but just go into the one where I'm wearing my tank top, and I believe you could find it. No, I'm trying to think. If you go into either one, if you go into the other one and you hit the learn more, or if you go to the OpenEye system. On my Facebook with the tank top, I've got a Facebook page for that. So I've got two Facebooks. One Facebook page and one of the other things that promote the content. And also my main Facebook, which is my personal one. And then the page that I created, which you can hit learn more on that page, which I've posted different things. When you hit learn more, it brings it directly to the website. There's no looking up links on Google. I decided to keep myself off of Google. I'm not going to promote a domain. to put me on Google to be noticed, because that's when all hell starts to break loose. I can do it through Facebook, you know, and people can hit like and share it on Facebook. And when I go to my website, it'll tell me how many likes I got. It'll tell everybody how many likes there is, you know. But long story short, and I also got a Twitter one dedicated to it too. It's called The Open ISIS. Marvelous. The word is going to get out one way or another. I don't care how it's done. But anyways, let's just jump back into this. So it makes sense that they're cooling the earth. We're having war. So why don't you guys look up my Facebook, check out my website, and I'll get back at you. I'm going to end this video. I've got things to do. You know, there are other things in life than just making videos. But research a little more, you know, and let's inspire other people to do some too. But I've got a message just before I go. If you want to stop the end from happening, and this is just a very smart thing that anybody could think of. God gave you the opportunity to stop it, because no criminal would call you up and tell you they're coming to rob you and kill you. So God wouldn't tell you you were going to die, and the way you're going to die, and not give you a chance to stop it. You want to know how you stop it? Protect the rest of Damascus at all costs. Don't care how you do it. Protect Damascus. Don't let it be destroyed, because it foretells that once it's destroyed, Deuteronomy and Revelations, it says once Damascus is completely destroyed, it basically tells you this will happen next. So before this can happen next and anything else can take place after that, this has to happen. It's common sense. If it doesn't happen, this cannot happen. These events cannot unfold. So we prolong God's, we can't stop it completely. We're just prolonging it and saving us some more time to figure out a way to defend ourselves. That's why they're sending messages back to the past with technology, hoping that we, you know, we can't save this earth in this time, but we can save them in theirs, and not letting them repeat it. But what I'm saying, it makes a lot of sense. And I mean, common sense. Save Damascus. There's 30% of Damascus capital left. That's all. The rest of it is in ruins. It's almost dead. If the governments save that building, I don't care how the fuck they do it. Put it in a box. Fix it. Fill it with cement. Inside and out. Turn it into a big fucking cement rock. Encase it. Just don't let it be destroyed. Strengthen it. Something's got to give. Build steel walls around the rest of it. I don't care, but cannot at all costs allow that thing to be destroyed the rest of the way. So that's just a heads up. But I think if there is life here, which I do believe there is, but I'm just going to throw the word think, because I'm not going to have anybody say, oh, he's a conspiracy nut, and issue me in a fucking topic and article like the fucking news and the Washington Post talking about all these other YouTube channels being wackos. When, of course, if it didn't have any validation to it, the news wouldn't talk shit about the person reporting it. They wouldn't be calling them out on it, calling them a conspiracy theorist, unless they were threatened on the topic. Unless there was truth to it. That's point blank. Nobody, listen, I wouldn't stress myself out if you said something about me and I knew it wasn't true. Why would I care? But if I knew it was true and I had something to hide, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna respond. It's natural instincts to defend yourself. But when you're not doing nothing wrong, your natural instincts are to just laugh it off. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this world if the people want to live. And there's a lot of things that you need not to do if you want to live. So I would think about things long and hard. And that goes out to the governments. That goes out to the powers that be, the elites, whoever the fuck you are. You need to do and heed the warning. Somebody figured it out for you. Now you need to put that plan into action, because it makes sense. If the Bible, to you, might be telling the truth, then why don't you Try it out, find out, and see if it speaks the truth. Because it says in the Bible that we would have a golden age, like the weather would stop, the earthquakes would stop. It says it. So I believe deep down in my heart that they're going to heed the warning of what I'm saying. Because the Bible foretells that this comes to a stop for a while because people understood. They all synchronized together, but then it all got fucked up again. It only lasted for a short period of time, but it'll happen. The things will stop. It'll just stop abruptly. Maybe for a couple of years. It'll be so peaceful and everybody will be so happy. Everything will go back to normal, but then it'll just start happening again. Because God said we can't stop it, but we can stop it. We can change things. So that's the message to the governments, and the message to, this, I'll let this sound weird, it needs to be done. But if, once again, to the other people that are out there watching the videos that are interested in this topic, and to the people who swear to God by everything that it's real, if there are other alien beings out there, they need to start doing a better job on communicating with the people that are trying to communicate with them and forget about the powers that be. Because they're only jeopardizing themselves if they need something beneficial. The only thing beneficial to the alien beings or whatever they're called or whatever they are is the smart humans that have figured out what the Bible is saying without the help of high schools or colleges or other people. It needs the people that know these things naturally and can tell you what's going to happen next and where. So, and if they want to be accepted into society, because it seems to be that's the agenda that they're pushing, is to get us to accept these beings of all statures, like there is humans. There's different colored humans, but we're all 2 legs and 2 arms and 5 fingers and 5 toes. So what if it's green with scaly skin? It's got a mouth, nose, 2 eyes. It's got fingers, 5 fingers and 5 toes. It's got legs. It's got arms. It should be respected no matter what, where it's from, period. And I think the message is getting across with what I just said. So it needs to be done. It needs to be revealed to the world once and for all. And the world's not going to freak out. They're prepared. They're ready. But they've also been being prepared in all the movies that aliens are bad. If you watch all these movies, the Independence Day and all these other movies where it's an invasion, they got you to think if you see these things, defend yourselves. And that's not truly the way it is. That's the bad guys, the government, planting the seed in your brain through an alternate reality that is going to exist but hasn't occurred yet. You see what I'm saying? So, and they tell you these things. It's the future box. The TV is the future box. They tell you everything ahead of time. Let's not make no mistake. But if these beings are here, you would think they would do a better job of picking and choosing the humans that they want to take up and put on another planet. So, with that being said, I don't know, man. Maybe you guys want to research some things. Look up my Facebook. The eye of the hand, the eye sees everything. Today's date, I believe, is the 13th of February, 2018. And yes, I'm right. See? I believe and I'm right. 2 different things. But if I'm not sure on something, I say I believe. And then when I am sure, I say that's it. See you guys later.